All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Making Feria podcast. Today, I got my really good friend, a mentor, Albert Preciado. Albert Preciado, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you. You know, you've definitely created a lot of value in my life. And yeah, tell the audience, for those of you who don't know you, a little bit of who you are.
Well, I'm a Mexican-American, young, good-looking, as you can see.
Ah, well.
And I'm just a hard worker. And I'm just kidding, by the way. Like I'm not like that, right, Maria? But I'm a lot of people see me on social media and they think I'm something else. And I'm just a really hardworking, confident man because when I grew up being made fun of. People never gave me a chance. People made fun of my accent, called me wetback, called me beaner, like go back to Mexico, where you came from. They didn't even know if I was Mexican. It's just that everybody thinks that brown people are Mexicans for some reason.
Yeah.
And I could have been from Guatemala or from Colombia or from somewhere else, but that's how I grew up, my childhood. And then I grew up in the ghetto. So where I grew up, it was like Echo Park, but borderline LA, but in the rough spot, like where we had shootings, drug dealings. So I grew up in that neighborhood, and my mom sent me to school in Granada Hills, so I took the school bus. Yeah. And that's where I was introduced to a new environment that was good and bad. But long story short, I dropped out from college. I had a 1.8 GPA all my elementary, middle school, and high school years. And when I dropped out of college, I just dropped out because I figured out that the school system is made to create average low-income earners that are pretty much slaves. So I said, I don't want to be I don't want to get a college degree. I want to be a business owner. And that's what woke me up was that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that book just made it very clear that I had to be a business owner. And then started one business, two businesses, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 of them went out of business, and 4 of them became multi-million-dollar companies.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, just like you, I actually grew up in Echo Park myself, probably at a different time, but you know, I grew up with my mom. She's a single mom.
I think we're around the same age, though.
I'm 32.
Oh, you're 32, okay, yeah. So you're a little younger than me.
He looks younger. Shit. But yeah, we grew up in the same hood. It was a really calm lifestyle, nothing crazy. I mean, other than the gunshots every other day, right? But yeah, like I grew up with my mom, single mom. We always, you know, didn't have I never had the things that I've always wanted when I was a kid, right? She lived paycheck to paycheck. And yeah, like it was a struggle. So I always knew, even at an early age, that there was something that I had to do in order to change the way we lived. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about how you started your entrepreneurial journey.
Well, I was dating this girl from Colombia. She was Colombian Mexican. And I started dating her in college. And, you know, I thought she was attractive. Very smart girl, very sweet girl. If she's watching this, like, I hope she's doing well. And it was a great relationship. And she introduced me to her brother. And that is when my life changed, because I was still kind of considering college. But I realized that college is made to make you a slave. Like, college just makes people dumb. And I said, I don't want this. And when I met the brother, we went to her brother's house for the first time, and I saw this house. It was all the way up in the hill. So, you know, Glendale, you go up the hill. Yeah. By the Glendale Community College, you go all the way up and on Chevy Chase. And then it takes forever to go all the way where he used to live. And I remember once we get up on the hill, I see his house. And it's not a big house. It's crazy how what once used to appear big, as you get bigger, it appears smaller. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
So now if I see that house, that's not my dream house. If I see his cars, those are not my dream cars. If I see, because he had some tax returns posted on his wall, and it said like 1,300,000 in income, something like that. 1,300,000 in income. And if you think about 1,300,000 in income right now, it's not a lot, you know. So I went there, but at that time, you know, I'm a broke college student, and I get to his house. I see the house in the hills. The house was about 2,000 square feet, but back then it looked like 10,000 square feet. And then he had a S-Class Mercedes.
Yes.
And then he had an SUV, a Lexus SUV, and a Hummer. So I'm thinking, man, you know what? This is the life. How does he have all this? Rolex watches. This guy had all the girls. He was dating one girl one week, another girl another week. And also, like, the girls appeared hot to me. Now it's like, man, now I have a different taste.
Yeah.
In women. So that appeared big to me, and now I just kind of upgraded my my way of thinking. So long story short, I don't mean to bash or say anything bad, but I learned a lot from this guy, and I said, you know what? I want to have 3 cars. I want to have these girls. I want to make $1.3 million, and I found out he was a mortgage broker. So he owned a mortgage company, and he had a real estate company. And so right away, I went from liking this girl and wanting to be with her to wanting to be with her brother. Not in a sexual way, but but in a mentorship way.
Correct, yeah.
So I would always tell this girl, hey, when are we going to your brother's house? Let's go to your brother's house. So I was always excited to go to the brother's house because I wanted to pick his brain. One thing that I've always done is I'm a sponge. So I ask a lot of questions, but I don't ask the same question twice. So I would just ask everything, so curious. And I would ask him, how do you do this? Hey, so what made you get into real estate? Oh, hey, and how much is the car payment for this one? Hey, how'd you get this car? Hey, this house, how'd you get this house? What kind of books do you read? What I would ask the weirdest questions, like why do you go out with this girl and then with this girl? So I was very curious from day one since a kid. And he told me, I'm not going to hire you for my mortgage company until you read this book. So he gave me that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And at the time, I was a teacher assistant, part-time teacher assistant at Toluca Lake Elementary. And I started reading that book. And then I became addicted to reading books. So I was reading a book every single week. I would read a different book. And I started reading books. And for years, I read 52 books a year because I would read a book every week. And back then, we didn't have any audiobooks. So I was reading books, highlighting them. And that's how I became smarter because I learned from books. And one of the books told me drop out of college and quit this teacher assistant job. They were paying me $9 an hour. So I read the book, came back, and I said, I'm ready. I'm going to start working as a mortgage, as a loan officer.
Yeah.
So I started working, and I made $16,000 my first month because I closed 4 deals. But the training that I got to close deals was nothing. So I see people here now complain, man, I don't get training from Albert. I don't get training from Sil. I don't have the technology. I don't have the CRMs. I don't have the tools. I don't have this. I'm like, damn, what do you want me to do? Deposit money in your bank account just for the heck of it? For doing nothing? So me, back in the day, they gave me a book, a farm package. And they gave me a farm package which has numbers and addresses of people in a certain zip code. They gave me that farm package, and they told me, make some calls. And I said, well, what do I say? They said, well, here's a printout of the Mike Ferry scripts. Here is the printout. Just read the scripts. And that's it. And these weren't even loan officer scripts. These were realtor scripts. So the scripts were good for nothing. Mm-hmm. And I found out right away because I was sounding awkward when I used to call people cold, and I would start reading from the scripts. So then I said, this doesn't work. I'm just going to call them, and I'm going to be myself. So I was calling a bunch of families in South Central area, and most of them spoke Spanish. So what I did is, you know what? I'm Latino. I'm going to start calling Latinos. So I started calling Latinos. And what I did is I was talking to them in Spanish. But when I called them, I would just be me. And I would just act like I knew them. So I didn't have any scripts. I didn't use scripts. I just started calling them. And I remember this family, Francisco Garcia, was my first client. And I said, hey, señor García, ¿cómo está? ¿Qué onda? ¿Vio los partidos del América? Estuvo pesado, ¿verdad? And he just started talking to me about the game, America and Chivas. And he started talking to me like he knew me, and I was just talking to him, and like 20 minutes into conversation, he's like, well, ¿quién eres?
Like, you were so genuine to him.
Yeah, and I just started talking to him, and I'm like, oh yeah, ¿no se acuerda? Le cerré un préstamo hace tiempo y nomás estaba llamándole para ver si ocupaba ayuda. Oh, ¿sabes qué? Si estaba buscando para refinanciar y la, whatever. So I created the relationship just speaking like if I knew the person. And I started closing deals like that every month. First month, $16,000, way better than $9 an hour part-time. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to do mortgages. In my first year, I made $260,000 just in mortgages with no training, no nothing, no entitlement, just hard work. And I was always the first one in the office and the last one out of the office. And I had a six-pack. I've always been in shape. So I had a six-pack. I was fit.
Yeah.
When I started, I stopped working out because I was there. I wanted to be the first one there and the last one there. And I would start cold calling from 8 in the morning all the way till about 11 p.m., sometimes later. And the way I lasted was because I was so broke.
Yeah.
The title companies would bring like pizza and sodas. So I would eat that. My mom would make me a sandwich. Like I have great parents, great mom, great dad. They helped me so much in everything. I wouldn't be here without them. And I would I would eat the sandwich, but then I would get more hungry. So I would grab some pizza from the title people that they brought it. And then to give me that spike, I would get this vodka called Absolute Vodka. Great deal, $26 in Costco. I think it's gone up now. But I would buy the big one. I would keep it by my desk. And when it hit 6, 7 p.m., time to cold call, I would get some Coke that the title rep would bring, spice it up with a little bit of vodka, and start dialing. And I would get deal after deal after deal. And every month I closed deals. And first year, $260K, I wasn't even 21 yet. And that's how I started making money. And I said, you know what? This is for me, self-employed, because if you want to make money, if you want to be rich, you're not going to be rich being an employee. You got to make some sales. You got to sell. And if you don't sell, you don't eat. And that gives you it forces you to sell, and it forces you to work 8 in the morning or sooner all the way till midnight. Because people ask me all the time, oh, I have a 9 to 5. I have a 9 to 5. And I'm like, well, I've been having a 9 to 5 every single week. And they're like, what do you mean? Yeah, I work 95 hours a week.
Yeah.
That's my 9 to 5. Oh, no, I mean 9 to 5 p.m. I thought you said 95 hours a week, because that's what I'm used to working, at least 95 hours a week. So, I mean, I have a 9 to 5. I have a 95.
Yeah,
not a 9 to 5. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's how I started in entrepreneurship.
Definitely. So just like you know, at an early age, you know, I knew that I had to do and make a change, you know, for my family, because we were also broke, and yeah, you know, so I knew that at a very young age, like elementary, right? Mm-hmm. And then so high school came up, and then I saw this kid who, you know, was selling Gatorades at school.
Yeah.
And every time we got to third period of PE, he would sell out, and I was like, wow, like there's so many kids rushing this guy. You know, I could do that. Like there's so much market for it.
Right.
So I started selling Gatorades, and then you know, my dad, he was also in real estate. He does wholesaling, so he would tell me like, read this book, and the first book I read too was also Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
So that opened my eyes to you know, like the book says, you know, your poor dad was a guy who told you to, you know, go to school, get a high paying job, get benefits and this and that. But it just never made sense to me. And then the rich dad was teaching Robert, you know, how to open a business, how to make money. Sometimes even you have to go work for free to gain that knowledge, right? So, as time went on, you know, I started to also see somebody that I wanted to follow in their footsteps. One of my uncles used to drive a Lexus.
Yeah.
And he was the only uncle who had the nice Lexus. He had a house, he had money, he would treat us to vacations. And he always had money. So I was like, man, like, he knows something that nobody else knows. So I'm going to go ask him for some information.
Yeah.
You know, because at this point I'm already 18. I've been hopping from job to job. You know, I was working at Panda Express, Papa John's, BJ's, Chipotle. Then I started wrapping cars. Then I started doing printing at Staples. And I was doing all these bunch of things, and I just hated it. Like, I hated having a boss. I knew that I always wanted to be my own boss. And then I started DJing. I had weekend gigs, and that was okay. But, you know, coming home at 3 in the morning with equipment, then, you know, I already had my girlfriend. I was living with my girlfriend. I already had my daughter, you know, at the age of 19.
Yeah.
I started super young. And, you
I'm
know.
surprised how I don't have more kids.
Yeah. You got my daughter, she's 12 right now. Your oldest is how old right now?
7.
7. So they're still little babies, you know. I'm already getting into the teenage years, so it's getting kind of rough. So, you know, I would like to ask you about that, but you haven't got there. But so as my uncle, you know, funny story, you know, one day he got a flat tire on the freeway, and I was like, you know what? Hey, I can go help you. I got AAA. So I went to help him, and then he's like, well, you know what, Chris? Look, I see you working hard. I see that you get multiple jobs. Sometimes you work 2 jobs to support your family. Why don't you come dispense hearing aids? Because he was in the hearing aid business.
Yeah.
Which is a very, very niche, right? Like, you don't hear too much about that. But, yeah, he was making good money. So I was like, you know what? All right, cool. So, cool. I'll take the opportunity. So he'll tell me, all right, I'll let you know when you can start. So then time went by, and I was still working at, I think it was Chipotle. I waited, and he was like, man, my uncle's not calling me. Like, he's not giving me this opportunity that he said he was. You know what? I'm just going to quit my job, and I'm going to go work for free. I'm going to show up to his office, and I'm going to work for free just so I can learn, because I don't care whether if I make money or not. Like, I just want to learn what he's doing, because eventually I can go do my own thing, right? So I show up to his office, and he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm here to work. I'm here to learn. He's like, well, I haven't told you like yet. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to work for free. I'm just going to be here. And he's like, wow, okay, all right, cool. So I started working for free. Eventually, he started paying me, right? Because he's like, I feel bad, like you're working here for free.
Yeah.
But I think as an entrepreneur or someone who's barely getting started, like, you need to find a way to get yourself in a better position, right? Find the right vehicle. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of my little story. But so what were the challenges you had to overcome the first year as an entrepreneur? I know, well, you mentioned a lot of them, right? But is there any like big points or big, you know, up and downs and stuff like that?
Well, when I started, when I was 20, when I was a brand new loan officer,
yeah,
I made a lot of mistakes. I wasn't making like $1 million or more, but I made 260K, and I'm a 20-year-old. So the mistakes I made was I didn't have a mentor. Like, I wish I would have had a mentor like the Albert today, if he would have been my mentor when I was 20. Because what I did is I have a list of things, but I started going out with a bunch of girls. So I was like going out with too many girls. It was crazy. Like, I'm talking about like waking up and I have a girl that I have to kick out because another girl's coming over. And then I got to get rid of that girl because I'm going out with another girl in the night. And I would fake getting ready to kick the girls out. Oh, I'm getting ready. I got a shower. I got this appointment. I would just drive around the block and then make sure the girl left.
Yeah.
And then would come back and just get comfortable again.
Back to back.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm back. But then I also started drinking a lot, partying, which led to a cocaine addiction. So I was addicted to cocaine for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And it started just Saturday and Sunday, or Saturday. But then it started on Thursdays. And it got bad where I started doing 2 8-balls a week instead of 1 8-ball. And I remember it got so bad that I would create hearts with cocaine.
Yeah.
In a mirror. I would take my big mirror down, put it down, and create a heart with cocaine.
Wow.
And cocaine parties. It was just crazy. Cocaine parties, girls. And then I started waking up super late. I started being irresponsible, and I was very, very young. Got DUIs. I got 3 DUIs. I ended up in jail plenty of times, bar fights, and made so many mistakes that I shouldn't have. So like my biggest tip and advice here for young men out there is, hey, if you're making a lot of money and you're blessed to be talented in business, stay away from bad habits, stay away from cocaine, stay away from over partying, stay away from going out with too many girls, and stay focused on the main thing, which is building a business that one day you could sell for a lot of money, or a business that you keep that provides cash flow every month. And then after that, you have so many other opportunities, but don't waste your years, because how much can you party? How much can you do cocaine? Now, I'm blessed. I'm lucky that I didn't die, because I should have been dead like plenty of times, because I did so many crazy things. I have so many crazy stories.
Yeah.
Where I was borderline dead.
Wow. Okay.
And not to mention all the stress I put on my parents.
Definitely. So for somebody who's, trying to find that drive, right? What would you recommend for them? Because for me, obviously I had my daughter when I was 19. So that pushed me off.
That probably kept you away from cocaine and partying.
Yeah. I didn't party too much in my younger ages. When I was 21, I was working like 2 jobs just to support my family.
Yeah.
So I never was drinking, partying until later on, which we'll get to that. But for someone who's finding that drive, what would you recommend for them? Because for me, it was my daughter. For you, I don't know if you were just born hustler, but before having my daughter, which I had her at 19, before that I did party a little bit. I was going to the house parties in South Central, because I was underage. But what would you recommend to get that drive, or how do you find that drive?
I mean, for me, drive is money. Like, who doesn't like money? Like, if I sell right now, Maria, $5,000,
yeah,
you don't think she would be excited?
Oh yeah, she'd move faster.
She would be driven like this.
I'm still driven.
She would be extra driven.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like money, being productive, but especially in the money way, it drives you. But for me, like, my purpose was, I always wanted to be rich since a little kid, because I told my dad I want to help a lot of people. So I want to help people, and you can't help people if you're poor. So I remembered, because my parents, how we grew up, in a very humble way, I remember that it was always, we were always scared of keeping the fridge door open, because it would waste more electricity, and then for the fridge, it sucks so much electricity. And we lived in an old house, so sometimes the power would go out when I used to turn on like the Nintendo, and I would have TV on, and then I would keep the fridge open, and I would turn on, like, I guess, too many electronics, and then the electricity would go out. And then also when I used to leave the lights on all the time.
Yeah.
My mom used to tell me, apaga la luz, apaga la luz.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a rebel, a kid, and I didn't value money, and I still don't. And I was tired of that. And I remember one day my dad took me with him to paint in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And I saw this red car and this big mansion. It was Beverly Hills. It was a Ferrari. I didn't know that, but I told my dad, how come we don't have this? He said, because this is not for us. So that did it for me. And I said, one day I'm going to be rich, and I'm going to help a lot of people. And because I remember my parents wanted to help people, but they were limited. They didn't have, it's like they weren't rich. We were not I wouldn't say we were dead poor, but we were definitely not even middle class. We were below middle class, so we were poor, but we could afford the necessities in life. But it was always like, you got to save here, you got to save there. So now I don't do that to my kids. I want them to know that we have we have endless possibilities. We could do whatever we want. Mm-hmm. So that drove me to become successful, and I just wanted to be rich. And I told my dad, I'm going to be rich. He said, if you work hard and you never quit, then maybe you could achieve a house like this, a car like this. So that was what did it for me. I was just driven because I remembered all the hard times and all the people that thought it was impossible, that it pushed me and it drove me to prove them wrong. I think for me, if you tell me that I can't do something, I'll make sure that I do it, but in a bigger way, to crush you and to make you eat your words. So like when people challenge me, or people criticize me on social media, or they create those fake accounts to say things about me.
Yeah.
The only thing they're doing is they're just firing me up.
Fueling the fire.
I'm getting excited. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, let's do this. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And success speaks for itself.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. I mean, you know, growing up, my uncles used to tell me, you go to the military, they'll pay for your school, you'll get all these benefits, you have all this money. Back then it was like, what, 50K a yearly, 5K signing bonus, this and that. But I was like, hell no, that's still not good money.
I'm doing the podcast.
So okay, so we were talking a little bit about your daughters. You know, right now you're at a super high level, making all this money. How do you plan to make sure they're not spoiled? You know, can you talk a little bit about that? Are you putting some plans and procedures in place? Because yes, we want to let them know that you're in abundance, right?
Yeah.
But what game plan do you have for them?
For my girls?
Yeah.
Little girls? So for our little girls, we're not traditional parents. And like, I really don't know how to be a parent. I don't think Sil either. It's our first time.
Yeah.
So the way we're treating them is very untraditional. So people also criticize about that. But I've seen a lot of kids, and I remember how I grew up, and I remember the kids around me. And in school, elementary school and middle school, I saw a lot of bad kids. So what I mean by that is when I was in middle school, kids were selling weed and drugs, cocaine, meth, in middle school.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like 9th grade or 8th grade or 7th grade. Like the first year, because 6th grade is elementary, then actually 6th grade is middle school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1 through 5. So 6th graders. I remember I had this girl. She had like nice green eyes, curly hair, and she was like selling crack and weed. And she was telling me like, "Hey, look, in the little baggie, I'm selling this. You wanna sell some? You wanna make some money? You wanna try it?" And I'm like, "Those are not the kids I want my little." And I'm sure now it's worse. And now, you know, they want all the kids vaccinated. They tell boys they could be girls. They tell the girls they could be boys, and then they put all these bad ideas in their heads. So what me and Sil wanted was, we didn't want that. We didn't want, our kids are not vaccinated at all. No vaccines. None of our girls. Italia 7, 0 vaccines. Super smart. So we said, you know what? We're gonna have to homeschool them. So we have a teacher, and Italia goes to school 7 times a week. And she's 2 years ahead, probably 3 years ahead of kids her age now.
Wow.
And because she's learning, but she has a teacher just focused on her. And so she's moving along very fast. She hates school. Like, I don't know who loves school. Like, I hated school.
Yeah,
She
me
hates
too.
school, but she's like, you know, it's better than nothing, because she does less hours, but since it's focused on her, she's learning at a very rapid speed. And then we're also teaching her things that they don't teach her in kindergarten and 1st grade. She's learning marketing, sales, investing, money, marketing. She's learning, and then we're teaching her process, like her mom's teaching her processes, operations, different departments. She's like, she comes to the office once a week, and we teach her here. And then she's like, wait, why is this person? Why is Maria in the front? On this side, and why do we have another person in the front? And she'll ask questions like that, and she's like, wait, that room over there, why is the accountant there? Why is processing there? And why, Mom, Dad, how come you guys never talk in the office? You're over there, and that's over there. Why is that doing podcast? So she's learning right now podcast. My daughter, she learned how to play the piano on her own.
Wow.
So she downloaded an app on the iPad,
Yes.
a piano app on how to play the piano, because her grandpa and grandma got her a piano for Christmas. So she didn't know how to play it. She learned by herself because she downloaded an app, and she learned how to, and now she plays the piano. She knows how to play the piano on her own. So she's very, very smart. So now she's teaching her smaller sister, Berlin, that's 4, and even Callie, like she's 1. By the way, all my daughters are named after Ferraris. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know that.
So our girls are advancing fast, and they have adult conversations with adults. So people say, you gotta let them be kids. You gotta let them be kids. they have fun with kids. They go to Disneyland, VIP. Party bus. Princesses come over, and she brings all her friends. She has friends parties. So she's living a different life. But at the same time, to answer your question, is like I'm not gonna get my daughter like a Mercedes or like an expensive car right away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get her like a Focus or like a Civic, and I'm gonna have her like, hey, you gotta earn it. You're not just getting whatever you want. Or she's gonna have to pay if she wants to get something better. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna make her pay for it, but her money is gonna be invested.
Yeah.
So the returns she makes on the investment, if she wants to get an expensive car, she could get it, but it's with her own money. She's buying a vending machine right now because she's already getting into business, so she wants to make some money with the vending machine.
Yeah.
So she's in the middle of purchasing a vending machine.
Oh, nice.
She's gonna put it here in the office, and we're gonna have Celsius, little Moet bottles, and things like that people like. That way, people can
Start
put
buying.
some money there, and she's gonna make a profit. Yeah.
Okay.
So if she wants to pay for something nice with that, that's her money.
Yeah, she earned it.
But she has to put the initial investment. So
Yeah.
that's the way we're treating our kids.
Yeah.
Whether it's wrong or right, like if somebody's gonna f up your kids,
Yeah.
then it's not gonna be teachers or the government or anybody else. It's gonna be dad and mom. We'll f them up.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I mean, my daughter just got into middle school, and one day she's like, "Dad, I want you to go to parent-teacher conference. Please, please, go." And I'm super busy, and I hate school, and I hate it. You know what? Since you want me to go, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
She was in 6th grade. So I was like, all right, cool. Let's go meet your teachers. So I walk in, and we meet the teachers, and some of them I don't feel like they don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah. They don't.
But the biggest thing that just blew my mind was that they had an all-gender restroom available. And I was like, what's this? I asked one of the teachers, like, oh, yeah, well, the kids have the liberty to choose what gender they want to be and this and that and la la la. I was like, oh, no. You guys are super wrong in what you're doing here. And I'm taking my daughter out of here immediately.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not at your level yet, but I did what I can. So, luckily, there's a private Catholic school around, and I decided to put them in private school.
Yeah.
My son just entered kindergarten, so he entered there fresh. My daughter, she went from 6th grade straight to that school in 7th grade.
Yeah, no, that's
And
really
private
good. Like, there's really good schools too. I have some friends that are really wealthy, and they go to certain private schools. So there's
Yeah.
some certain private schools that are good. And by the way, in no way do I mean, because I just want to clear it up, because I know how sensitive the people are that are watching.
Yeah.
I never said I'm against a boy being a girl.
Yeah.
If a boy wants to be a girl,
Yeah.
they're adults, then be a girl, right? If you're a girl and you decide to be a boy later, but I'm not okay with school enforcing that or telling them that when they're kids, they don't even know what's up.
Totally.
So like if later they decide to do whatever they want when they're 18, 19, 20, whatever, then go ahead and do it. But I just don't want my 6, 5, 7-year-olds to be taught that right now.
Exactly. No, I 100% agree with you. And, as parents, we have to take
Cheers.
that responsibility to teach them, right?
Thanks for
Cheers.
the Ace of Spades, by the way.
Cheers. Oh, you're very welcome. Happy birthday again. I think it's tomorrow. Was it
It's tonight, midnight.
Tonight, midnight.
Yeah.
So, do I get to party with you?
Yeah.
Let me know. But, happy birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You know nowadays you have to be very, very you have to watch your message, the way
Yeah.
you put it out. And it took me a lot of experience to understand that. I mean, not to understand it, but just to kind of want to do it.
Yeah.
Because now, like you said, you were talking about levels, right?
Yes.
So now at this level, I want to get sponsorships I want to get like multi-million dollar sponsorships from big companies.
Yes.
And in order for that, And when you run big companies and you have a lot of employees, you have a lot of independent contractors, 99% of the world doesn't think like people like you, people like me. You know, not everybody wants to be a billionaire. Not everybody wants to make hundreds of millions. 99%, the 1%ers are the 1%ers. 99% of the world is average. So average people, sometimes they get offended by big thinkers.
Yes.
And that's why, like, now, like, instead of saying, like, for example, when I say brokies, you've heard me say that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, people get mad and they
yeah, my
think
sister gets mad when I call her broken, but
they think they think we're talking about them, but it's like, if the shoe fits, it's not our fault, right? But what I mean about brokies, I don't mean it in a bad way. Like, I don't mean saying brokies because I want to put people down, because I want to make fun of them, because I'm an ass or I'm a bad person. I just want to help them wake up and think a little bit bigger, because they should, for their family. They should take care of their family, and they need money to take care of their family. Think a little bit bigger. If you want to make 100 grand, shoot for 200. If you want to make $1 million, shoot for 2 million. If you want to make 10 million, shoot for 20 million. But just think a little bit bigger, and that is my whole intention of when I say brokies.
Yes.
Because you have people that, you know, they come here for, I used to have a $67 mastermind. And people would come here, they would pay $67, and then they would complain, I have to pay $20 parking?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's small thinking.
Yeah.
Or when you go, and I don't know if you still hang out with your high school friends.
Not really.
But like high school friends, college friends, you go to dinner, and let's say there's a group of 6, and then everybody brings out their card. Oh, here's my card, here's my card, here's my card, and then somebody brings out, oh, here's $20 on me. They give you a 20. And then some people say, well, I didn't drink, so mine should be smaller portion. I just ate a salad and he got a filet mignon, so it should be, so here's the math. And I'm like, I don't want to be around those people. That's such a low level of thinking.
Yeah.
And if you're around people like that, you're going to be the average of your 5 friends, right?
Correct.
So I decided, you know what, I'm going to make time to be around people that make me think bigger. And I remember one time I was with Brad Lee, and we went to dinner for his birthday.
Yeah.
I'm like talking about like 8 years ago or 7. And I bring out my card, like all excited. Oh, I'm going to put half. And I'm like, you want to split it?
Yeah.
And he gets the card and he like throws it at me back. So he literally, I gave him the card. So I'm like, so I got my American Express card, and I give it to Brad, and he gets it, and he's like,
yeah.
he said, we don't split bills.
Yeah.
Either you pay or I pay.
Yeah.
You want to pay? And I said, yeah, I'll pay. And so I'm like, okay, here's my card, and I paid. And that was one of the best lessons I've learned from the great Brad Lee. and then ever since that, I'm like, why are these people all pitching in and putting their card? Like, that's not the way I want to go. I want to be around friends.
Yeah.
That are, I got it. Where to the point where they start fighting to pay the bill. I got the bill. So I think if you think that big and you always pay the bill, then gravity, God, you're gonna get lucky. You're going to get a lot of opportunities, and the world's going to open up, and then you're just going to start getting so many opportunities in a good way, where you're going to make so much more money where you could pay the bill all the time. So I just think people should be very, very aware and selective of their circle. Because if you have what I used to call brokies, but now if people are struggling financially and they're in your circle, it's going to pull you down.
Yeah.
Maybe help them, give them tips, give them advice. But if you give them so much tips and advice and they keep struggling financially, then those people are just going to drag you down. So be aware of who you are around, because that's who you're going to become.
Yeah, I totally agree 100%, you know. Yeah, and like you said, you know, as leveling up, you still think of those little habits, right? That, oh, we're going to split the bill, but, you know, eventually get to a point where, like you said, Bradley did that, and yeah, you know,
It's like, why do you get me this bottle? This bottle is I'm sure it's like 300 or plus for this bottle.
Yeah.
Why didn't you bring me like a Corbel?
You know, I like getting my friends
What do you
good
think
gifts.
what do you think I would have
but
done if you brought me you know what Corbel is?
I don't even know what that is.
or Andre champagne. Have you seen it?
Andres, no.
Well, if you go, like, I'm from the ghetto, right? You're from the ghetto.
Yeah.
Let's just say you go to one of those liquors where you grew up.
Yes.
And they have champagne that's like $9 for the bottle.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm talking about. Corbel, or they have Andre. If you no, but that one's a little bit better. That one's like $27. But I'm talking about like cheap champagne where you
Cheap.
taste it and you're like, oh, it has that sour taste.
Yeah.
If you would have brought that champagne bottle, what do you think I would have done?
I mean, you would have thought like, oh man, this guy's at a very low level.
I would have. I'm very respectful. Like I wouldn't have done that, but I probably wouldn't have it here.
Yeah.
I definitely would not drink it.
Yeah.
But I would just be like, hey, thank you for the gift. But then I would just maybe, like, I would definitely not drink it. And,
Yeah.
and so, like, but I would never make anybody feel bad or disrespect them.
Mm-hmm.
But you get my point. Like, there's a level of, like, I'm curious, like, why did you decide to bring me this as even a $60 bottle? You decided to bring me a 300 plus bottle. Why did you do that?
Well, for me, I like to stay authentic even to myself. Like, if I'm not going to drink it, why would I bring that to you?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm at a point, I mean, I'm not saying everybody should come get a expensive bottle for somebody, you know, wherever you're at in your life or whatever, right? You know, at least give something that's, you know, pretty decent quality, or, you know, like for me, it was just being authentic. Like, if I like to drink Ace of Spades, then I'm gonna bring you a bottle. I know you like champagne.
I love
I see you drinking champagne.
I drink champagne
in every reel.
I drink champagne every day.
You need a sponsorship already with champagne, but you know, I'm gonna bring Albert something that I would want somebody to bring me, something that I like.
That's good.
Does that make sense? I
Yeah,
hope?
100%. I like it.
Yeah. So, you know, the only shortcut I see in business is mentorship. So can you tell us a little bit about that? I mean, I know you know a lot. You know, how did you start getting mentoring? I know you started with the books, right? You started with Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Right. Yeah.
Who did you hire first as a mentor? I think it was Grant Cardone. You've been mentioning it to me, but tell us a little bit about mentorship and how did you get started?
Yeah, I spent over $7 million in mentorships, and some years, like, and it grew as I made more money. So like all the money that I make, I put it back into my business and mentorships.
Yeah.
Relationships. Like, for example, this is a little bit different, but Brad Lee, I paid him $50K when that's all I had in my bank.
Yeah.
With my debit card, and then a few months later, not a few months later, I think like a year later, I lent him my Ferrari for a year.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was an investment to buy him. So
Yeah.
I bought him as a friend, but he connected me and opened up a lot of doors with new relationships. But things like that I would do. John Maxwell, for example, I invested recently like $400,000 in him.
Yeah.
Because I had to fly in private, and there's a lot of details to it.
Yeah.
But I wanted one-on-one time with him because I wanted to become a better leader. Because in 2022, the market started changing in real estate, and it started going bad. Less deals, rates started going up, people started struggling because they stopped giving the easy loans, the free money, like when COVID happened, you know, how
Yeah.
everybody got help.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
everybody was a baller, and you had 2% interest rates, some even lower than 2%. So you can imagine a 6-year-old could be a loan officer. You could get somebody from 7-Eleven, they would kill it in mortgages and real estate.
Yeah.
So it got very, very easy. So I invested in John Maxwell in his mentorship, and it helped me a lot. But going back, my first mentor was Grant Cardone, so I hired Grant Cardone. I paid him,
Yeah.
and then after Grant, because Grant taught me how to take risks, how to have the courage, how to hire people, grow your army, how to think bigger, multiply, think 10x,
Yeah.
think bigger. But then that got me to a point where I made money, but then I couldn't scale from there because he's really good at marketing and sales. But
Yeah.
once I got up to $1 million, I couldn't grow it more. And then I realized, wait, Grant does not have a real business. And what I mean by a real business is like he's a speaker, he's a marketer, he's a sales trainer, sales coach, and now he's opened more businesses, right? I think.
Yeah.
I haven't followed his new stuff, but he didn't have a business, a company, like let's say a Rocket Mortgage or a Remax or something like that, right?
Yeah.
With employees, a lot of employees, a lot of salespeople, but a company. So then I said, you know what? I want to find somebody that's in the business in an industry similar to mine's. Somebody that's also closer to my age and somebody that's a minority like me, because if they did it, so can I. Grant, Tony Robbins, they're older white men.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to win. They're supposed to have it easy. They're supposed to have a lot of doors open for them. But is there somebody young, minority, in an industry similar to my industry, mortgages?
Yeah.
And then I started, I came up with this guy named Patrick Bedavid. And I said, Patrick's 5 years older than me. Patrick is a minority. Patrick's in financial services, highly regulated and boring industry like mortgages. So I said, I'm going to hire him as my mentor because I need to learn business, company, and some Grant helped me already scale and grow my income.
Yeah.
But now I need to scale the business. So then I met with Patrick. I DM'd him. He DM'd me back. I went and saw him, and I bought his mentorship. I paid him $10,000 for 4 sessions, which included dinner, lunch, going to his house, hanging out.
That's a good deal. Well,
Yeah.
talking now, right now,
almost,
who knows?
almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So what I learned from him is, Albert, you got to create systems and processes for your company. Do you have an operations manual? I'm like, what is an operations manual? And then I'm like, what systems? Well, what do you mean by processes? And I'm like, yeah, if you want to scale your company, your business, you got to create systems, processes that everybody follows. You got to be sure that if one person leaves your company, you replace him, plug and play, because they follow the same processes, the same systems. Who's your COO? Who's your C-suite? Who's your top-level executive team? And I'm like, whoa, what are you talking about? And he started dissecting my mortgage company.
Yeah.
And then he said, why is it the mortgage guy? Why not the mortgage guys? And then I'm like, yeah, why not the mortgage guys? So long story short, he taught me a lot about operations.
Yeah.
And I combined what I learned from Grant and with him. And then I combined it, and it made me so much powerful. And I learned so much, and it grew the company, the revenue, a lot. And then from there, I kept investing in more relationships. And it's the biggest investment you'll ever make. The biggest investment you'll ever make is in yourself.
Yeah.
I know you're big on self-improvement. You invest a lot of money in yourself every year. But when you invest in people and mentors,
Yes.
you're buying time. You're going to get results quicker, and you're also going to avoid making those huge $1 million mistakes that could put you in the hospital, could kill you, get you a heart attack, and could put you out of business. So that's why I invested in mentors, and I noticed that it worked from the beginning. So I kept doing it over and over again.
I agree. No, I agree. I first started off also with Grant Cardone. I didn't hire him personally, but I did make a $10,000 investment in his Cardone U University. So what that taught me was how to sell. So in the beginning, when you're opening a business, if you're not making any sales, you're not driving in revenue, ultimately your business is going to die. So for me, it was definitely investing in him so that I could learn how to sell and move product. And then once I got more money, then I started to grow, move offices, and now I got 2 hearing aid locations, and then I did take a break for a while from mentoring and this and that, but then now recently, you know, I've hired you. I've hired. I'm also into real estate, flipping houses. I hired Ryan Pineda, which I think you're on his podcast as well, to learn how to flip. And right now I'm at the point where, you know, I've hit that peak in my hearing aid business, and I needed to learn systems and processes, because I've never had that. Like, I have, like, my team right now is about 4 or 5 employees, but I'm at the point where I want to put the correct people in place so that I can scale the business. So yeah, I'm totally for it, and I always hire in mentors, and I think everybody should. You know, when you're starting off, maybe read some books.
Yeah.
And then when you have some extra money, then definitely invest.
Are
in
you the
mentorship.
CEO of your company?
Yes.
Do you have a COO?
Not at this time. I'm working on fulfilling
I
that
told you
position.
before about the rocket fuel book, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so make sure you have them take the rocket fuel assessment on the website. It's free.
Yes.
But you need a COO. You need to find you want to find the best COO, operations person.
Integrator. Right?
Yeah. Operator, integrator. They call them different things, but a COO, because
Yeah.
a COO is going to create your systems and processes. And what that is like, think about your business, whether it's a small business, mom and pop, or a business that has grown. When you have a problem, like, I'm sure every day you have some sort of problem that happens out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Like every day you wake up and you think, like, let's say you wake up, you slept good, everything is great. Your wife was good the day before, so you're happy.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to work and you're thinking, man, I'm so prepared. Today's going to be a great day. And then something goes wrong. Something breaks down. Somebody does something. So you have an issue that you weren't expecting. So then that throws your day off. Now you got to fix that issue.
Yeah.
So I was with a billionaire one time in a cruise, and I was telling him, hey, we keep having this issue back to back to back. And he's like, do you get a lot of issues that keep happening? I'm like, yeah. He said, well, that should be part of your procedures, company manual. You should have a table of contents, and you should have all the issues that happen and the answers to them. That's what a system is. So when you have a problem, you get a white piece of paper, you write the problem, and you write the solution, but you write it in kindergarten language, meaning people that are 6 years old can understand it. Mm-hmm. And that's your system. That's a system to fix that issue. Yeah. And then you create all the issues and all the answers, and then if somebody ever replaces somebody in your company, they're going to follow the system that's already documented and very easy to understand. So then that's when I said, Sil, you got to create systems and processes for every single detail in our business. Mm-hmm. And she did that. That's why McDonald's, you could have so many McDonald's. I think there's like 40,000 McDonald's more or less in the world, and they follow the same systems. That's a great movie, The Founder.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, McDonald's, they don't have Harvard degrees, people working there. They don't have the highest IQ level people. They hire anybody, and they just follow the systems because they're so easy to follow, and it's not a lot of stuff. So you don't want to give people so many things because they're going to get confused, and average people can't handle a lot of things. If you're a high performer, you could probably manage a lot of things, but most people, you got to keep the things they do to a minimum.
Yeah.
But that's why McDonald's does so good, because they could literally hire a monkey, and they could make the French fries. They could flip the burgers. They could take orders through the drive-thru. They could make the ice cream cones. Like, I've seen very smart monkeys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, smarter than some people.
They've even been to space.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, totally makes sense.
And then that way you focus just on your CEO, on the vision, on the growth, on the revenue, on the relationships, and you let your CEO handle all the systems, all the processes, so that the business keeps growing, and all you do is you keep just bringing in more revenue.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm at the point where I've told like all my employees, my office manager, like, hey, just give me like a brief description of everything that you do and how you do it, right? And then I've like gathered it up in this file, and I'm slowly putting it together.
Yeah.
But eventually, yes, I do want to hire a COO. So that's in the works.
Yeah.
Now, so let's see here. So how has entrepreneurship taken a toll on your life and your relationships? You know, I know you're married. I got together with my girlfriend at a very young age. Unfortunately, it didn't work because we grew apart, you know. So I don't recommend you get in a relationship too early because, you know, you need to experiment and get to know different people so you know, make the right choice in relationship. So how did you know Sil was the perfect one for you?
Well, first of all, I had a lot of fun at an early age, so I went out a lot. I went out with girls. I had a lot of fun. So like when I say, you know, the cocaine thing and the parties, I don't regret it because I learned a lot. I
Yeah.
learned a lot from it. I experienced it, and it was a lot of fun. Like, yeah. I'll leave it to your imagination, but it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
what I liked about Sil was that we had fun doing all the little things. You know, some like some girls, they just want big gifts. They want big things. They want the boyfriend or the guy they're dating to get them expensive bags, take them on expensive trips, buy them expensive gifts, go to expensive restaurants.
So find out their love languages too.
Yeah, yeah. And those girls just want that, right? And then the I wanted somebody that was interested in the free things, like in the little gifts. Meaning, let's go work out together. Let's go to the gym and have a workout at 4 a.m. Oh yeah, cool. Let's go to the gym at 4 a.m. Hey, let's go to the seminar. I'm having the seminar this weekend. You want to join me to the seminar? Yes, let's go to the seminar. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna be working late today. And what if you meet me at work and help me work? I got to make some calls. I got to scan some papers. Meet me at work, and then 10 o'clock, 10 p.m., we'll leave, and then we'll have some fun. All those things are pretty free or low cost.
Team player.
So when I met Sil, she was interested, and she was like, yeah, let's go to the gym at 4 a.m. Yeah, I'll go help you at work. Yeah, I'll go to the seminar with you. Most of the other girls, they just want to party. They just want to get expensive gifts. They just like materialistic things. They don't like learning. They don't like hard work. They don't like helping you at work. They don't like working out with you. They just like those things. So when she had that, I'm like, oh, you know what? This is a girl that I can see myself spending time with because she likes the little things.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point of my life where I filter out those girls. Like if you're not working on your personal development, if you're not learning, if you're not growing, if you're not a team player.
You know what turns me on about women?
What?
When I see like first of all, she has to obviously be attractive.
Oh yeah, that's a must. That too. Yeah.
And I mean you know, some people I mean they might not like this, but like I like 10s are hard to find, but like 9.5s and over, like, you know, they're smoking hot. But what turns me on more is, do they like to self-improve? Do they like to work out? Do they like to work and make their own money?
Yeah.
When I see like a 10 and she's an airhead, like it's a turnoff. I'm like, man, you just dropped from a 10 to a 6.
Or worse.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a total turnoff. So like if you're watching this, you're a girl, you take care of yourself, you look good. Maybe, you know, do the little things with the guy and appreciate self-improvement, appreciate working out, appreciate hard work. I don't think there's anything more attractive than a pretty girl working hard and making her own money.
Yeah. Growing. Definitely.
Yeah.
No, I'm totally in agreement with you, for sure. All right. So let's see here. So, I mean, what advice would you give for early entrepreneurs, you know, on, you know, how to start their business, how to get going, how to make money, early on in their journey?
Hire a mentor. So get a credit card, borrow money, come up with funds, save some money, and just hire the best mentor. Hire a mentor. Hire an expensive mentor, a qualified mentor. Don't go to like these $99 events or these free events or don't hire these free mentors, because you're gonna get you're gonna get bad value, right? So I would hire like high level people, like if like that's what you do right now.
Correct.
But if you're starting, start doing that earlier. Like when you're 20, start hiring mentors.
Yeah.
Like you'll get way more value. Like let's say, tell me somebody that you like.
Oh.
Tell me somebody that you like, that like a good mentor
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. Like for me, like I had to choose someone that had everything that I wanted, and at the beginning,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I was spending a lot of time and money on people who didn't even have what I wanted. So I looked at Grant. You know, he had his wife, the kids, the money. So that's who I started off with because they had everything
Yeah.
that I wanted.
So
to
so let's
accomplish.
use Grant as an example. Let's say Grant's going to give you mentorship, and you're 20, and you just got approved for a credit card that's $20,000, and Grant offers you a one-on-one mentorship that includes 3 sessions. I'm just making this up. Spend the 20 grand, learn, and then that's going to give you everything you need to go and start your business. It's going to be a shortcut because you're going to get all the information from somebody that did it already, made all the mistakes already, and it's going to be a shortcut to success. So
Yeah.
that's what I would do. Worst thing you could do is just going to free events, cheap events. Like I see some of these conferences or mixers, and they're full of garbage. Like the speakers are not accomplished. The crowd is a low quality crowd, meaning it's a bunch of people that are not financially where you want to be. So why do you want to go into a room where everybody's financially lacking, and then the speakers are teaching you how not to be successful because they're not even successful? That's what you get in free events or cheap events. You're going to be in a room with a bunch of non-valuables.
Yeah.
You're going to waste time. So why not just work harder, save a little bit of money, get a credit card, borrow money, and go pay for an event where you're going to have winners, and you're going to have people that actually have businesses that are making millions of dollars. You're going to learn something from it. So that's what I would do. Don't be cheap with education. Don't be cheap with self-improvement.
Yeah.
Spend money on that.
Yeah, and just get clear on, you know, what you want and follow those who have what you want, right?
100%.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So when did you start to notice that you were like blowing up on social media or your business?
I'm very, I keep myself grounded. So like this is just the beginning. I'm just getting started. Nothing faces me. I'm not scared of anything. I'm going to continue to take risks. I'm going to continue to show with results. I work 18 hours a day. I've been doing that for decades. And even when I was 20, I was working 18 hours a day. I had bad habits. I didn't have the maturity yet. So, but I've been working hard. I've been working hard for forever. 18-hour work days, and this is just the beginning. Like I haven't made it yet. Like I'm nothing. I'm just beginning. I'm just starting. There's long ways to go, and that's the type. I think that's one of my superpowers. That when people give me compliments, when people say things about me that are good, people say, "Oh my God, you're awesome. You're this. You made it." Like I brush it off. It comes in and it goes out, because I'm nowhere near where I want to be, and I have so much more to give, so much more to learn, and I am as hungry as I have ever been in my life.
Totally. No, yeah, me too. Like when I see my friends and family, wow, you're successful. You're doing this, you're doing that. You got multiple businesses, but I'm just like, thank you, but yeah, in my head, I'm just like, I'm not where I want to be at yet. But
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah. Stay coachable, stay humble, and stay hungry.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Albert, for giving me the opportunity to, interview you and be part of the Making Feria podcast. I'm hoping to one day have a conference like Driven, and
You will.
I will. Yes.
Don't hope it. Like.
Yeah.
But by when are you gonna have it?
That's true. You got
When's the date?
the date. Probably the end of 2024. So you know what? It's happening this year.
Yeah,
So in a
that's-
few
yeah, this
months, it's already. What was that?
What month you wanna have it?
The thing is, I haven't done my research, but does it matter what month? Like, does it if it's in the holidays, do people
From
no?
experience, just avoid holidays and avoid other big events happening. So just look at the calendar and set a date, and commit to it. Because if you don't commit to it, you're gonna be next year. You're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna have an event. And
Yes.
the following year, I'm gonna have an event. So, what month do you want to have it?
I'm gonna aim for November. When is yours? When is your event, Driven?
It's the first week of November.
Oh shit. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe the end of November. Because December, I feel like everybody's in their holiday spirit
Yeah.
and they're just like in La La Land.
Yeah.
Right.
So
But
you want November instead of earlier?
well, we're about to be in April. Yeah. I mean, how much time do you think you need to promote an event?
3 months.
3 months.
That's my first event. My first event with no experience. I committed
Yeah.
3 months from the day,
Okay.
and I sold tickets and I made it happen. I was forced to, because when you commit something, now you're forced to perform.
Yes.
If you don't commit, then you're not forced. That's why, like, you got to commit, because commitment is the first step to success.
Gotcha. So, busy April, probably August through November, somewhere there.
So you want to do it November? You rather do it November or August?
Let's just say November, end of November.
All right. So we'll do it in November, and do you know what it's going to be called?
Making Feria conference.
Making Feria conference. I like that. You have the Making Feria podcast, and how many people are going to go to that event?
So I want to aim for, what do you think, 300 people for the first event?
500. Make it 500.
500.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what venue? What city?
I live in Montebello, so they have the Quiet Cannons there. Got some hookups in there.
So have it there. Set. So November, Making Feria conference. Am I going to speak in it?
Yes, sir. Yes, we're gonna have Albert Preciado there, present flesh in the blood,
Yeah.
in the body.
There you go,
So-
guys. So if you want to go to the Making Feria conference, it's going to happen in November. This podcast goes out quick, so it's going to be in November. Get your tickets. Reach out to Chris Medina,
Chris Medina, yes, sir.
and he'll hook you up with a deal, early bird pricing, so you could fill it up, and I'll help you fill it up. I'll help you get more speakers, and yeah, I'm really excited about your Making Feria conference.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm super excited too. So we're gonna blow it up. We're gonna make it happen. You guys gotta commit. We're committing right now.
There you go.
All right, Alvaro, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next episode of Making Feria.